always have a Plan B, a series about life after sports. The story of Brian Kelly, life lessons for success.
Ball is on the USC 14-yard line, and Wally Richardson throws. It is intended for Jurevicius. It is intercepted by Brian Kelly, and Penn State is turned away.
I started playing sports around 9 years old. We lived on an air base, so it really wasn't nothing else to do but play sports. All the guys in the neighborhood played football, basketball, soccer, and eventually I fell in love with football and kept playing. From high school, went to here, USC, and played here for 4 years, and then was blessed enough to go and play in the pros for, 12 years. When I got to the pros, I had an individual coach named Herman Edwards who was very focused on building men. That was his whole, he said the NFL is an opportunity, not a career. And he said as long as you always believe that and remember that and never forget that it's an opportunity to be here, it's not your career, it's what you make of it.
Take responsibility. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Do the right things. Your words and your actions got to match up. Really, your life. What are you saying, and then what are you doing?
Plan B is usually the follow-up to Plan A. And for me, my Plan A was always going to be a professional athlete. I focused on it. That was my whole outlook on being a student athlete, was to get to my end goal, which was to be a professional athlete. But Plan B was something that I also had in the back of my mind because I know even being a student athlete, being a professional athlete, eventually I wouldn't be an athlete anymore because I get too old and my knees start hurting. So it was time to start focusing on what I want to do after that, because eventually your name gets cold. So if you can build on those connections and take advantage of those opportunities, that's sort of what focused my attention to Plan B.
With the shortness of time for Plan A, Brian Kelly knew he needed to focus on creating his Plan B.
Came in, I played my freshman year, played for a couple years, and now was coming into the junior year, and there was already talk of possibly being able to go to the pros. And at that point, I started focusing on Plan B. So it's a little bit of reverse to maybe how other people would approach it, but it worked out that way. But if I would advise any other student athletes, I'd start off with Plan B, knowing that you already got a good hold on trying to focus on Plan A, and you always have something to fall back on. And at the end of the day, we all have to realize that it's only so long you'll be able to play the sport. Even if you take it to the highest level, it's a max on that. Guys retire, guys get injured, certain things come up, the game can disappoint you. I started thinking of connections that I could make while my name was hot, because eventually your name gets cold. So if you can build on those connections and take advantage of those opportunities, that's sort of what focused my attention to Plan B, which is at the point I'm at right now, being an entrepreneur, starting businesses, and all that comes from what I was able to do as a student athlete.
Big Man on Campus is a show myself and Keyshawn put together. It's more or less the last senior season of a big-time high school recruit and what he goes through and the pressures that he deals with to perform well, choose a good college, keep his grades up, stay out of trouble, and enjoy the experience.
If you're focusing on being a student, you got to have a stronger belief in yourself than the teacher does. If you're going to be an athlete, you got to believe in yourself more than the coach does, because they're going to let you down. They're going to get disappointed in you. They're not always going to believe in you. But if you believe in yourself and you work hard, the sky's the limit.
In life, all sorts of challenges will come your way. Some you're prepared for, some you're not prepared for. But at the end of the day, like Brian Kelly, as you're going through your Plan A, get ready and always have a Plan B.
That was a big play by you, man. You made that happen for you.